Okay, we're going to do chapter 2, lesson 4.2. Go ahead and pause the video and go up and do the homework check. So we're using linear inequalities again, which remember our inequalities from yesterday are our less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. And today we're going to use those with problem solving. So for the first example, in a Winter Olympics 5,000 meter speed skating event, Hans Holden scored the times of 6.85, 7.04, and 6.92 minutes on his first 3 trials. Use an inequality to find the times he can score on his last trial so that his average time is under 7 minutes. So we have a couple things going on here. So first, he is trying to find an average on a 4th trial, which we don't know. So the first thing we have is have to give that an x. So I have 6.85, 7.04, 6.92, and x to get all 4 of his trials. In order to find an average, we have to take the number that there are, add them up, and then divide that by the total number of trials, which is 4. And then it wants an inequality, and it wants his average time to be under 7 minutes. It doesn't say under or equal to 7, so we're just going to put it to less than 7 because we want it under 7. Okay, the first thing we should do is there's no distribute, so we're going to combine like terms. 6.85 plus 7.04 plus 6.92 is 20.81 plus x over 4 is less than 7 still. Now I want to get rid of the 4 because we don't like fractions. Right now it's being divided, so the opposite would be to multiply each side by 4. And that would give me 20.81 plus x is less than 28. Subtract 20.81 from 28. And that leaves me with x is less than 7.19. So his time must be less than 7.19 minutes. Number 2, to mail a large envelope first class, the U.S. Post Office charges 88 cents for the first ounce and 17 cents per ounce for each additional ounce. Use an inequality to find the number of whole ounces that can be mailed, spending no more than $2. So what we have here is 88 cents to start, plus 17 cents for each one after the first ounce. So the first ounce is free. So if we have a 5-ounce envelope, we're only going to be paying for 4 of those ounces. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our total ounces, but we need to subtract 1 in order to figure out how many of them we have to pay for. And we have no more than $2, but we could spend up to $2. So we're going to use less than or equal to $2. Now this problem starts with a distribute with my 0.17x minus 0.17 less than or equal to $2. Combine my like terms here. So I'm going to have 0.17x plus 0.88 minus 0.17 is 0.71 less than or equal to $2. Subtract the 71 cents. So that's less than or equal to $1.29. Divide each side by 0.17. And that gives me 7.59 ounces. But now I read the problem and it says the number of whole ounces that can be mailed. So we can only mail 7 whole ounces. A shopping mall parking garage charges $1 for the first half hour and 60 cents for each additional half hour. Use an inequality to find out how long in hours you can park if you only have $4 in cash. So here we have $1 for the first half hour plus 60 cents for each additional half hour. Again, we're going to subtract out, I guess we don't need to subtract out half because we can just count them as half hours. We'll just subtract 1. And we only have $4 in cash. So we're going to distribute here, just like we did before. Goodness. We're going to combine like terms. So I'm going to have 0.60x plus 0.40 less or equal to 4. Subtract the 0.40 less or equal to 3.60. Divide by 60. 3.60 divided by 0.60 is 6. And those are half hours. Use the inequality to find how long in hours you can park if you only have $4 in cash. So we know the first half hour was $1, and then we have 6 more half hours. So we have 7 total half hours we can park. But they want my problem in hours. So 7 half hours would be a total of 3.5 hours. And less than or equal to 3.5 hours. This one should have been what? Less than or equal to also. Northeast Telephone Company offers 2 billing plans for local calls. Plan 1 is $25 per month for unlimited calls. Plan 2 is $13 per month plus 6 cents per call. Use an inequality to find the number of monthly calls for which Plan 1 is less expensive than Plan 2. So on this one, we have Plan 1 is just $25 straight. There's no adding, subtracting. There's no multiplying. You just pay $25 no matter what. That's Plan 1. And we want Plan 1 to be less expensive. So we want it to be less than Plan 2, which is $13 plus you have to pay 6 cents for every minute. So the first thing I'm going to do is 25 minus 13, which is 12, is less than 6 cents per minute. Divide that by 0.06, and that gives me 200 is less than X. So if I make more than 200 calls, because if I rewrite it, it's still pointed at the 200. So if I make more than 200 calls, Plan 1 will be less expensive than Plan 2. Now here it says, write all of your answers in interval notation. So I go back here. Time must be less than 7.19 minutes.
Excuse the interruption. If you are the owner of a black Ford.
Okay, and we know because of this word problem that you have to be above 0. So this one for interval notation would be 0, 7.19, both with parentheses, because we know that if you're swimming, you're obviously going to have to take above 0 minutes because it's going to have to be at least a second. On this one, same thing here with the 7.59 ounces. Well, then we ended up being 7 whole ounces, but I think I forgot to add in the one that we got for free. So we actually should have 8 ounces. But again, we can't mail a package that doesn't weigh anything. And we're less than or equal to here, so we're going to fill this one in. So this one would be parentheses 0, 8 bracket. On this last one, we're less than or equal to 3.5 hours, but again, we have to park at least something. So we're going to be parentheses 0, 3.5 with a bracket. This one is just greater than 200, and you can make as many calls as you can in a month. So this one actually would look like this, just 200 and greater. So this one is going to be 200, infinity. And they both get parentheses because the 200 is not filled in. And the greater than is, or the infinity also gets a parenthesis. And then there's your homework.